Can you hear me? Okay. Okay, let's call the meeting to order. Amy, if you'd like to call roll call, please.
Frank Baptist. Steve Brown. Allison Birch. Bill Eldridge.
Here.
Elgin Hamner. Luke Moody. Greg Shin.
Okay, we have a quorum, so we can move on. I will read the statement of FOIA compliance, and then we'll take the roll call on that. From that, I've not engaged any prohibited discussion, deliberation, or polling regarding any item on this meeting's agenda outside of a properly noticed and open meeting in compliance with the Arkansas Freedom of Information Act as amended by Act 505 of the year 2025. Amy?
Frank Baptist.
Yes.
Steve Brown. Allison Birch.
Yes.
Bill Eldridge.
Yes.
Luke Moody.
Yes.
Greg Shin.
Okay, thank you. Now we can move forward with the minutes from the May meeting.
I make a motion we accept the minutes as read.
All in favor? Now, any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, we'll move now to the financial reports from Mandy and Jordan.
Yes, if you'll look at your bank account balances sheet, you'll see that the accounts are in the same order that they always are. The first one is our A&P Collections General Account. It ended the month of May with $12,543.91. A lot of that had to do with how the last day of the month fell and a lot of collections that came in over the weekend. The A&P Large Checking, it ended the month of May with $389,256.58. A&P Small Project ended the month with $657,857.18. A&P General Operating Checking ended the month with $161,191.95. And then the Focus Group / RV Park Checking ended the month with $64,701.71. You'll notice that there's a large difference between last month and this month. That's because we took out one of the Garrett Excavating payments out of that account. And that was in that big contract we were taking out of the different accounts. And so we had enough to come out of that account. And then the final two accounts, you'll see the Benton Event Center Operating Checking. That ended May with $452,799.35, and the savings account, which ended the month with $522,988.57. The next page shows your monthly collections divvied out by the different businesses. If you'll notice that at the bottom, we did have a 6.8% increase when you do 26 over 25. It ended the month with $192,831.77. Pretty strong. These are April collections received in May. The delinquencies, people have until 5 o'clock today for them to technically be declared delinquent. So we're waiting on that. So we don't have a delinquency report to give today because we're still waiting until 5 o'clock today.
Okay. Any questions from Andy? Okay, we'll move on to Jordan.
$1,204,799.42, and then $447 was owed to the Department of Finance for sales tax for the month of May. Turn to the next page, you'll find the P&L for the commission for the month of May. Total revenue collected of $18,413.07. Expenses of $15,493.36 for net income of $2,919.71, roughly $2,500 ahead of budget for the month. If you turn to the next page, you'll see the A&P's P&L for the 5 months ending May 31st. Total revenue collected of $91,143.98. Expenses, or I should say operating expenses of $77,129.67 for a net income of $14,014.31. And then the commission spent $14,820.04 by moving the unused funding to another account, which resulted in a net loss for those 5 months of $805.73. If you You turn to the next page, you'll see the Event Center's P and L for the month of May. Total revenue of $34,519.38. Operating expenses of $50,029.17 for a net loss of $15,509.79. A couple of items to point out there. As Mandy said, there's a couple days left in May that were on the weekend, so there's several deposits that hit the account in June, 1st of June, that were actually May collections. And then there's some late down payments that have been collected since the end of May, and also a state agency payment and another big show that should have been collected in May, but they've now been collected in June. So some timing issues that we'll see rectified next month. So that's why you see Event Center down a little bit more than anticipated. And then, of course, you see the transfer to the savings account of $10,000 from the operating account to savings for the month of May. Turn to the next page, you'll see the P&L for the Event Center for the 5 months ending May 31st. Total revenue of $228,158.73. Operating expenses of $219,2871 for a net income of $9,100. And you do see the capital expenditures for the lighting control system of almost $67,000. So there is a net loss of $57,862.45. And 5 months of savings, transfers to savings have taken place at an amount of $10,000 apiece. And last, you turn to the next page, the focus group P&L for the month of May. Its revenue was $11,658.88. And then you see the $800,000 payment to Garrett Excavating for the RV project. So that obviously made the net loss quite large for the $800,000 payment to be made. And then you see the next page, the 5 months P&L ending May 31st for the focus group. Ordinary income of $60,585.19, and then the Garrett Excavating payment of $800,000. So a net loss of $739,414.81.
Okay, any questions for Jordan?
I make a motion, we accept the financials.
We have a second. Okay, all in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, let's move on to our funding request, which is the second reading for the Saline County Fair and Rodeo. Also in your book, you have the listing of funding request this year and where we are currently at. And once again, if you look at that, with this request included, we've had requests for $46,870 on our budget of $50,000. And we've approved $30,270, which does not include this request. So I'll open the floor for any discussion. Once again, they're requesting $7,500.
Do we know what we paid last year?
In 2025, we gave them $7,500.
Same thing, okay. Do we have any history past that? I know we've funded them for a little while, but
Yeah.
number 10 on page 2, thank you. So it hasn't changed drastically over the last 5 years.
Yeah, last year was the first year that they increased
They
from
did increase.
65 to 7,500.
Right, which would be in line with inflation rates of advertisement, but what's everybody's thoughts? Let's not all be quiet. I hear crickets. Thanks, Steve. Please do it for me.
This is, you know, when we've gone through the process of our strategy, this event is fall on the legacy category that we talked about. It is an event alongside Mhm. Based on how we're operating.
I can validate that I know that the event brings in out-of-town guests. We often get people, mainly for the rodeos, to come in and, need a place to stay, shower, all that. And again, I can imagine that those same people will be visiting our restaurants as well. So, there's, the return on, anything that we will need to provide. Again, and I was just gonna say that I agree, I don't see any reason why we could not fund, we're not requesting. I guess the only question I have this year is related to the rodeo and saying that I thought about the impact of the, and all that. Do we know whether it's going to have the rodeo or not this year? And if not, how does that plan and if it impacts the ticket?
I think Amy has some information for us on
I
that.
met with Julie Kerr last week about something unrelated to this. They're doing some fundraisers for the fairgrounds. They do plan on doing the rodeo. It'll be an open air rodeo. They're doing some dirt cleaning and they're gonna have to bring in some dirt, but they do fully intend to have it at this point.
My original statement.
Has anybody got any further discussion before I make a motion about this? Yeah, I'm in agreement 100%, Steve. I think they do a great job down there, and considering everything that's happened down there in that situation, this will definitely help taking care of a lot of their advertisement so they can actually move on with their event as normal without dipping into other funds. So I'll make a motion, we approve the full 7,500.
Okay. Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor? Any opposed? The funding is granted. Thank you. Okay, we'll move on now to the report from the Event Center with Nikki.
Okay, if you will look at your report, you will see we ended the May meeting with $1,071,359. Because we had kind of a shorter time period, we had 8 events with a total of 3,125 people. You'll see the second one down, Salt Creek Outreach had a craft fair, which was moved to the Event Center due to what went on at the fairgrounds, so they moved it there, had about 350 people. And then last weekend, Saline Memorial had a baby fair, and there were around 400 people. So again, 3,125 people, bringing us to 1,074,484. Anybody have any questions?
I was just about to say, Steve wants a notification next year when K-pop comes back. He is, please,
I'm sorry.
if you could email that out, that'd be great.
You can always check the LED sign.
That's right.
It was up there.
Thank you, Nikki.
You're welcome.
Okay, we'll go into our marketing report with Rachel.
You look in your packet at your marketing report. First, I'll talk about in Restaurant Week. I'm sure you guys have seen all the yard signs all over town. We have 39 restaurants participating, so really excited about that. I'll be going on THV 11 tomorrow with Brooke Buckner to promote Restaurant Week. Was last week, and she got back with me. And then Matt and I will be doing the Vine next week to promote Restaurant Week and Third Thursday next week. So it kind of works out really nice. Restaurant Week is during the week of Third Thursday. Yard signs are out. I told you guys the Mighty Rib, who is a food blogger, he's going to come and kind of do a food review. So I'm excited to have him come. The table tents that are going in the restaurants on the tables, those are being distributed. I only have like 5 left that I need to get to this week. That's taken a little longer than expected, just kind of having to explain. They'll pull in even their waiters and their waitresses and say, okay, now tell them what we need to do, so, but it's been really good making those relationships with the owners of these restaurants, and everyone has been very positive about it so far. So, and we also do advertising with My Celine and just different social media ads. And the landing page for our restaurant week on there, over the last 3 and 4 days, we've gotten over 3,500 views on the website one page. So it's definitely getting out in the community. And then we finished filming at the Saline River. We did a little fun at the Saline River, and we did it at Third Thursday. And we went to a Little League game. And then this Friday, we will finish up with some ladies downtown shopping, enjoying downtown, and eating at Revival. And so this will be a video that we can package together and use in different ways throughout the year. So we're almost finished with that. And let's see, I think that's all I have. And one thing in your report, I don't know if this was on here last time, when the Buc-ee's opening date announced, if you can see how many views that got, 9,000, you know, you can see how much, you know, just from that. So it's great. Yeah. Okay. Any questions?
Questions for Rachel? Good
Thank
job,
you.
Rachel. Thank
No
you.
questions. I got one comment. I'm glad you put the signage out in places I've seen several of them, and I've heard some conversation, people who was in a restaurant where I was at, and you just confirmed things that they're excited. They may want to come back and see what's happening with this week. And I encourage them to do that, and to really consider it. So I'm glad you put the signage out. That'll help promote it.
Yes. And I think the signs are just vague enough that they don't really know exactly what's happening, so they're having to look on the website. Yes. Yes. I don't have anyone scheduled to come out for it. Since they have their whole own media team, we did have sales agency come out last year, but since we're trying to kind of scale back and do more things in-house, I don't have any of them coming out. Yeah.
Good job. Okay. Everybody good? Okay. Thank you, Rachel.
Thank you.
Good job. Okay, we're going to move on now to the development of exit 114 property. Really not a whole lot to say. We all know that Buc-ee's is opening August 17th, so that's going to be the headline for the next couple months on that. I know we're still progressing on the RV park and the soccer complex, but no real updates on that as of today. So, okay, we'll move on to old business, which is the funding policies and application. We had another workshop last week on the 3rd, and we kind of hammered out some things and simplified some things. Amy has sent that to Baxter, and Baxter has some adjustments he wants us to make on those forms. So we will get that. Amy's going to make those adjustments and then send that back out to everybody for review. And like I said, we have plenty of time because the new funding request forms are not going to be effective until January 1st. So we're just taking our time and getting it right. So we'll get that out probably in the next few weeks or so to everybody. Okay. Any other business? Anybody? We good? Next meeting date will be Wednesday, July 8th, right after the 4th. So we'll look forward to, don't know if anybody has any conflicts with that day, or you may be on vacation. So, hey, Luke's here, we're good.
The motion maker is here, so.
So, speaking of, any other business, anybody want to say anything from the audience? Scary? You're good? Chad? Okay. Okay. So,
I make a motion, we adjourn.
finally got a second there. Ready to adjourn? We are adjourned.